lot of requests on how to make the diorama base for the Hot Toys Mandalorian 6 scale. This will be a diorama base for your Detolf. So the Detolf, sorry the lighting's pretty bad. This is my first video, so hopefully we have some more videos coming on how to make more dioramas. I am not an artist whatsoever. Like, I'm literally the worst artist ever, I promise you. And I made this within 3 hours. It's pretty nice. I mean, for just starting, you know. I'm gonna teach you how to make this, and it will fit perfectly in your Detolf. Stick around, and I'll show you the supplies that we need to make this. Very simple. Mainly everything is on Amazon and your local Michaels or craft store. These things right here, I mean, you can put rocks instead of them. You could put other things. I just found these good for filling in, you know, the space so it doesn't look plain. First, the main thing you're going to need for your diorama base is you're going to need this insulation board. You can get it at any Home Depot, or I don't know, Lowe's, maybe Lowe's, but just go to the the insulation section. They should have it around there. If not, ask or look up where it is. But yeah, so we're going to be using this for our base. This is our base. Alright, so the second thing you're going to want to get is a box cutter. So while you're at Home Depot getting the insulation board, you can get this as well. It's only like $2. Okay, so the next 3 things that you'll need are going to be any local Michaels. So the first one is Mod Podge. This is basically a paste. This will help whenever you're trying to put the grass down and you water it down so it can spread easily with your brushes. The next one is the paint. I got espresso, I got brown, and I got golden brown. Any 3 shades of brown will work. Just go from dark to light. We got brushes from Michaels as well. These are like the cheapest brushes that you could probably find. These were $5 for all these brushes. So any brush will work. If you already have brushes, just use those brushes so you don't have to go out and buy any. Okay, so the next thing is you can also find this at Michaels, but it's kind of not expensive, but it's like $10-15. I don't know why on here it says that it's more than that, but Michaels always has deals. So this is a super moss. It's like the bark that it looks like bark with moss on top. I use this for the filler on my base, and it works pretty well. You could find it at Michaels. You can go on there and just put this product in, and I'm sure that you'll be able to find it. Just look around there. I just found it randomly. Thought it would work pretty good. It looks kind of like that. And what you do is you hot glue this onto the base. I'll show you that later. Next, you're going to need a hot glue gun. Any hot glue gun, the cheapest hot glue gun you could find. This is like $3 at Michaels as well. But you can find glue guns anywhere. Make sure you get a few sticks because you're going to need them. This is going to be the main thing that we're sticking the bark to the actual display on. Or if you have a rock or any other medium that you want to use. Okay, so the last things are from Amazon. These usually get for pretty cheap. I got this for $4 and I have Prime. So this is a soil cover, like sand, black sand. This is for the little walkway that is in the diorama base. I'll put the link in the description for all of these. So no worries on that. I'm just showing you what it looks like. Yeah, it was $4.99 I think it is, or $4.98. Yeah, $4.98. So I will put the link in the description. Alright, the next thing you're going to need is the static grass. This grass, yeah, people say it looks like it's golf coursey, but I'm not an artist, so I don't know how to do that. Great for the grass. It sticks well. You know, you might want to use this in an outside area because it does get everywhere. But this is the F613 type, so I'll put the link in the description. Alright, the last but not least item is going to be, it's like these little bushes. They're like little tiny bushes that look like this. They're kind of expensive because they're more realistic looking, but they were worth it. You know, if you don't want to put little patches of grass and make your diorama look a little bit more real, you don't need to buy this, but I got it because I really wanted it. If you know something else that you can use, maybe at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby had a lot of this kind of stuff that I wish I knew before doing it. So if you want to look there, you can, but this is what I used. Alright, now we are to the cutting portion of this. So I made a line that is 14 inches Horizontal and vertical, this one's 11. If you need to take a screenshot of the measurements, if you can see them, you can do that. I just used a straight edge for this. You can use anything you need. Now, the cutting process is kind of tedious, I guess you could say, but all you need to do is just cut on that line. That's all you need to do. Sorry, the tripod is in my way. So, you don't need to make the deepest cut, you know. Look, I'm kind of off a little bit, but you know, like I said, I'm not an artist or anything, so just cut along that line. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then what you're gonna want to do is extend the blade just a little more. If you have a fixed one, you can just keep cutting. I'm sure that there will be a way to do it on the fixed one. And just keep going down and down and down and down. If you have the fixed one, just go more in and eventually you'll be able to get through it. Alright, now the board is cut out. Everything, I mean, you'll get some of this and that's okay, you know. I cut it on the edge of the board, so some of the edges are clean, but this one's pretty bad. This could probably be the back, and then this would be the front. So that's the basic part of cutting it out. Let's move on to the next step. Alright, so the next step, what you're gonna want to do is on the edges right here. I just do this. I just cut it. You know, make it look worn. You're gonna get messy. You're gonna need a vacuum, but you just cut it, and it's gonna look worn after. Like the edges aren't gonna be sharp, and it's not gonna look like it's meant to be like that. The easy way to get your weathering down. And you're gonna wanna, I mean, you don't have to do the back part of it, just the front. I'm gonna do this part, and this part, but not the back. That's how I did mine. But you can do whatever you want. Alright, now I did all the edges of the styrofoam board or the insulation board. They're pretty jagged, jagged, not straight. Looks natural. You'll see them pop more when we start to get to the painting portion of this. That's what you do. Alright, let's get to the next step. Alrighty, so the next step is going to be making your little pathway that we saw on the actual base that I have already. So make your path any way you want. So I'll just make this little path right here, like that. So this is where the grass and whatever you want to put here. This is where like a rock will go or something. Alright, next step is going to be, if you have, you don't need to do this, but if you have some aluminum foil just laying around, I would recommend you just ball it up. You ball it up like into any ball, you know, and you put it on here, and you just, this gives it a lot of natural texture to it. I'm just doing it just so it's there, you know. Once you dry brush, these details will pop, but you're putting things on top of it, so maybe it isn't worth it, but I do it just because it looks better. So that little bit, I mean, look at the texture. It looks like it's actually like gravel or something, or dirt. I'll come back whenever I finish this part, and we'll go to the next step. With the styrofoam ball, not the styrofoam ball, but the foil ball, on those edges that you cut, you can also get them on those, get it on those edges, and you can do this to the edges, so the edges can smooth out and it'll look very natural. Okay, so once we get all of the edging done with the foil, this is what it should look like, very textured. Next step, what I did was I got the knife on a very low adjustment. If you have a fixed one, just don't cut in too deep. Just go around the pathway line that we drew earlier. Just go like that. You don't want to go too deep. I'm just carving that out. Well, mine's not perfect, but there. So now we have slits where the pathway is, so it kind of separates from where your grass is going to be. Okay, so the next step is kind of weird. We're gonna use a lighter, one of these lighters. I do this, you don't have to. This is very optional. I would do this outside, but I'm gonna do a little bit inside just so you can see what I'm talking about, because I don't want to take the camera outside. But what you're gonna want to do is get the flame on, and you're gonna want to burn like the pathway down a little bit so it indents the pathway only. That's why we did this, the slit, so it doesn't go over. But like, see how it's indenting, and it makes a very good pathway. It looks really good. But do this outside because my room smells now. So when I finish it, I'll show you what it looks like. Now we are done burning the insulation board in the middle where the path goes, and it should look like this. I mean, it comes out pretty good. Like, just make sure you're doing it outside because it is very smelly. All right, we're to the next step, and you're gonna want to get your darkest brown color. This one is espresso. You do not have to use this. Just to make sure it's a dark brown. I told you to get 3 browns. Dark from light. Make sure it's the darkest. All right, I'm opening it weird because I'm gonna put a lot on here. I'm no painter. I've never been an artist. I barely passed art. But I just put it on there and I just start painting. It's just simple paint, you know. Hey, you know, like it might be fun for you. You never know, you know. And like you start to see that like it looks good. The texture looks good when you don't see it's all burnt, you know. But once I finish this, and I'll show you the end result of it. It doesn't take long to dry. Maybe takes like 10 minutes to dry, maybe 20 if you put a lot on. This is what probably takes most of the time to do because you have to wait for it to dry. Alright, so this is what it should look like. It should look like this, and even in the front I painted it because you're going to be seeing that in the Detolf, like whenever it's face forward to you. The next thing you're going to want to do is paint the sides, and you're going to want to use the lightest brown that you found. I used this one, and then I dry brush a darker one on top. I'll get to that here in a minute. Let me finish doing the sides and I will show you after that. The next step is going to be dry brushing. You're going to get the medium of the browns, the one that's not the darkest but not the lightest. And what you're going to want to do, get the paintbrush all in the paint and stuff. This one's a small one. You can use a bigger one if you want. You're going to want to wipe the excess paint off like this, and I'm gonna keep a little bit more than I should on there just because I want this brown to really make this light brown darker, but not too dark. And all you do is just keep going around like this. Just repeat the process. This is gonna take you the longest out of anything, even longer, probably longer than the paint drying. But the results are very good. I like it. All right, so I finished the dry brushing. And it came out to a nice consistent brown that I wanted. You can honestly just paint it the medium brown if you want to. Just do that. I like this color because it'll make the grass look a little dead at the same time, so it looks more realistic. You want kind of a darker brown, but a lighter brown in between, so you see how you see the light brown in between the dark brown. That's how I look at it, but if you want to, solid medium brown would be fine, just so you can distinguish the pathway from the actual grass. All right, now I got the glue gun ready and everything is ready to go. It's warm now. I've got these rocks. You could use anything. I showed a bark that you could use from Michael's, but I didn't have another set because I already had made the other diorama, but now I have these rocks. First, you want to place them where you think they look good. Like this is pretty good for what I'm working with, where I want them at. So you just simply glue them to the diorama. And I do it fast because I know the glue adheres really fast, like it dries up really fast. I put it on there. Hopefully it stays. If not, I have to do it better. So like this. Do it really quick. Push it on there. Should be secure. Same for this one. Just make sure it's good. Squish it on there. dry up soon. Same for this. It didn't have to be perfect. Now I'm gonna let this dry, and then we'll get to putting on the grass and everything. So that's next. So first thing you're gonna want to do is get you a plate like this, or a bowl, I mean, sorry. And then we're gonna get the Mod Podge. The Mod Podge is the main thing that's gonna make everything stick onto the diorama. So, you know, you could get any amount you want. Oh, it's kind of dirty, but it's alright. It's glue. We're gonna get some Mod Podge like that. You don't need much, just a little bit. Then you're gonna get some water. I found this water bottle. It's probably old. That's why I'm just using this. Some water, doesn't matter how much. Just make sure it's there. Make sure you get it good. And then you're gonna mix it up. You don't want it too watery. See, I got it too watery, so I'm gonna add a little bit more Mod Podge to it. So now that we got that, I'm going to do like this much of a section, or actually I'm going to do this section so you could see it like just by itself without having to go through rocks and stuff. What you do is you put the Mod Podge on like this. Sides of the pathway, get it all right there. Alright, so this is the section I'm going to put grass on first. Okay, so you grab your grass. I got one of these strainers. You don't need that. You could just put it in a cup and pour it, just sprinkle it on this so it looks nice. But the little strainer helps if you have one around. If you have one, use it. If you don't, then that's okay. But I would really recommend doing this outside as well, because these little grass particles get everywhere. So what you're going to want to do is sprinkle the grass on the glue like this, and it's going to turn green, of course, because it's grass. Strainer helps a lot, but you don't need it. Okay, got this covered pretty good. Still have a lot of grass left. And what you do is I want to blow it off, but I don't want it to get everywhere. But I'm just knocking it off and back there, and then you got yourself some grass. Look at that. I missed a little spot right here, but you know, hey, I mean, it looks like a golf course, but I mean, I'm not the best artist, so I'm not gonna make it look. I think with this grass you can make it like stand up, but I think you need like an electrical charge for that or something like that, and I don't know how to do that. But this is what you get, and I think this came out good. I'm going to do the rest and then I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, now I have finished the grass. You know, it could be a little better, but maybe if I went around with some darker colors, or just needed more grass. But this is looking good so far. It's just a tutorial. You can do any way you want to. But now we're going to get to the sand, and we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to use this Mod Podge and just go around. See how I missed this part? I'm gonna go around with that so the sand can get into that, so you don't see that color edge. All right. Throw this stuff around. Get it all on it. So you're gonna have it. It's really sparkly. You can use anything for this though. You can use regular sand for this if you want. I just use this because it looks a little more like it pops out more. So I'm gonna finish the rest. That's what it should look like. That's what you do for this section, and I'll come back when I finish. Alright, now we have the sand all on it, and it's mainly, you can use it like this if you want. I showed in the video of all the things you would need, I showed these little like shrub things that you could put on here. You use the Mod Podge for that, but you do not water it down if you use those little shrubs. I don't have any more of those little shrubs, so I am going to use these. These I used on my desert display as well, and I'm gonna try a couple like around here and a couple near the rocks. I found these at Hobby Lobby. They're really nice. I think that it would look good on here, even though it is very grassy and these are like kind of dead. I'm gonna just see how it looks. Just give me a second and I'll put these on as well. Well, I'm gonna show you actually how to put these on. So what I'm doing is I'm basically just poking a hole with the tack into the insulation board and kind of making it a wide hole. And I take these out of their thing, and they're kind of like spiky. And then I poke it into the hole as good as I can, like that. And then I jumble these up a little bit, and you got yourself some vegetation. This is the 6 scale Mandalorian diorama that I made. This is Grogu, and here's the reveal of it. It looks really nice. I mean, if you could do better and you know the different crafts or anything, this is just for people that don't know how to do this. Don't bash me saying, oh my gosh, you know, like, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I know I don't know how to do it, you know. So, but it came out good for, you know, not an expert or anything. The next video will probably be of how to make this one. If you're intermediate in art, you will be making something like this. So yeah, it's really nice. I'm gonna try to make more videos on this channel I just made. I feel like I have information like that people would like to know things. I don't know, like maybe reviews or something. So if y'all want to subscribe, please. This is 6 Scale Habits, and I'm out. Thanks.